If it is or if it ain't, it's going to come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl, Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is December the 12th, 2023, and today the topic is misunderstood. Yes, good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I hope that you guys had a wonderful Monday. Mine was just fine. Not much to report about yesterday, so let's go ahead and get into the juice because, I don't have too much time. I need to go get ready. So, misunderstood. I think all of us may have felt this at one point in time or another. I know I definitely have felt misunderstood by family, friends, co-workers, and everything like that. And I guess I had a moment to reflect on some of those times this morning. I woke up around 1:10, if I'm not mistaken, and there was a couple of things that came on my heart and mind, but I was like scrolling through some of my notes that I had written. I can't remember why I started. I think I might have just been looking at income. I was thinking about things about like trying to add up, like if things keep going the way they're going, like what would that look like, stuff like that, right? And I looked into my notes because I wanted to keep them in my notes, but my notes thing is full. So anyway, it's a whole thing. But I've looked into income, and then after I looked into that, I came across a note that I had wrote a few years ago. And the note in particular was addressing a situation that I felt as if I had been misunderstood. And it hurt, it hurt to be misunderstood, by the individual that I was dealing with at that time. And when similar things happen afterwards with other people, I'm like, what is it about me that makes me so misunderstood? Like, why don't people just see my heart, see my intentions, like, and everything like that? And here's the thing. Even in those moments, as I ask those questions, I have to correct myself because I know that there are people that seem to understand me pretty well, so not taking away anything from the individuals that are in my life that do understand me and that, that are on this journey with me and things like that. But again, the ones that aren't, right? They just can't help but stand out in my heart and mind. And so when they cross my mind, usually I'll just pray or something like that, But anyway, so this is what happened this morning, right? So I would say that is more so where the inspiration came from this morning. Thinking about those situations and, again, you're asking the questions of, why am I so misunderstood? Like, why do some people, or why some people aren't able to see, my heart or, what my intentions or whatever case is. So, if this is you today, if you are someone that is feeling misunderstood, then I hope that you will be encouraged and inspired by today's juice. So let's get into it. The definition of misunderstood says incorrectly interpreted or understood. I mean, it's right to the point, simple, and everything like that. I mean, we can always go deeper and look into the definition of being understood itself and things like that. But I think we understand, again, what misunderstood means. So we can keep going. I came across a couple of quotes and things that kind of stood out to me to share this morning in regards to this word misunderstood. And so one of the things I came across said, people do not understand them and have a wrong impression or idea of them. So this was an example of what does it mean when a person is called misunderstood, right? It means that people don't understand them or have the wrong impression or idea of them. And again, like sometimes you feel like, I guess I tend to take it personally and be like, and I again ask myself, ask the Lord, and see, like, is there something that I'm doing that's causing this? Now sometimes it may not be you. Sometimes it may just be your spirit, as they say. So look, the spirit in you is agitating the demon in them. Now we don't like to think about it that way, but that is a quote out there. That I guess explains things that are happening on a spiritual level that is beyond, right, the physical situations that we may be in. So sometimes that might just be it. Maybe you didn't do anything, and it's just, again, maybe that person is not on a spiritual level that you're on, or whatever the case may be, and so there's some conflict there between them and you that has nothing to do with you. It's just the God in you, as they say. And things of that nature. That could be the reason behind misunderstandings. Well, one thing I'm learning to do, and another quote that I came across this morning, I think it speaks volumes. It says this: being okay with being misunderstood allows your creativity to flow and let you flourish in other relationships. So again, like I said, even as I sit here and explain, how it makes me feel to be misunderstood and how perhaps certain people and situations did hurt, and it feels like, why don't they understand? Again, I can't sit here and just wallow in that thought, because at the end of the day, I know there are, quite a few people that not only, again, understand me, but they're walking through life with me. And we've been able to do some amazing, phenomenal things together, and with their support and things of that nature. And so, yes, I do, I guess, mourn or miss or, think about, right, the people that aren't here with me today. But on the flip side, I am grateful for those that are, So again, this quote spoke volumes to me this morning, because it reminded me that, again, I can flourish in the relationships that are, willing to communicate, understand, and things of that nature. You can't thrive and build something that someone else doesn't want to build, if it's some type of partnership or something like that. We're probably going to get more into that in a second. But if I point out the other thing that stood out to me in that quote, is it says it allows your creativity to flow. Now, I guess I didn't think about it in that aspect, about, how being misunderstood allows your creativity to flow. But I mean, I guess I can see now, as I sit here and talk to you guys or chat with you all about this, because, perhaps, as you try to understand the other person, or if you are able to communicate with the other person and things like that, then perhaps it'll, change your mind and perspective about, different things, like maybe seeing their point of view and things like that can help you creatively. Yeah, so that's something to think about. Again, that's something I wasn't really even thinking about. I just was more so focusing on the whole misunderstood thing. But hey, I guess if you are allowed the opportunity to, rebuild and flourish and communicate and things like that, then hey, then creativity can flow and things like that. Or even if, for example, you find yourself in a situation where the person doesn't want to move forward and stuff like that, then you got to probably start getting creative about, like, how you're going to do the thing, or things like that. I mean, so, I could see that now. Again, when I was writing it down and stuff, I just was like, okay, whatever. But now that I'm sitting here talking about it, I could see how creativity can flourish alongside of the other relationships that you have can flourish. When those that are just intent to misunderstand you either are gone or, come to some type of resolution. So with that being said, if you guys need to go deeper about this, in the Go Deeper section, there's an article called 5 Effective Steps to Handle a Misunderstanding with Anybody. You guys can check out that article. It's written by Mike Irving. You should be able to just Google that information I just shared and find it. See if those 5 steps will help you in regards to that and navigating particular misunderstandings with other people. And it says with anybody. So that means it could be work relationship, it can be family, it can be friends, it can be, your spouse, whatever the relationship is, when there's a misunderstanding. Perhaps these 5 effective steps that they have, or who Mike Irving has put together, will hopefully encourage you, inspire you, and bless you. So check that out. But let's get into some Bible. Let's see what the Bible got to say about misunderstood. So, one of the first verses that I led to write down this morning was John 7:24. It says, "Do not judge by appearance, but judge with right judgment." That goes across the board, right? A lot of times we assume, right? And I would say that assumptions was being made on me when I look back at that situation that I was referring to this morning. And vice versa. Maybe I assume some things, again, of the person, right? I assumed that they would understand, where I was coming from, what I was trying to do, things of that nature. And so instead of making assumptions, right, instead of trying to look at a situation and judging it by the appearance, it's best for, like the Bible says, to judge with right judgment. After a while, as you can see, when certain moves are made or when people, make decisions for themselves, for example, like in the situation that I was first talking about, the first individual decided to, I guess, quote unquote, ghost me. And it hurt, I ain't gonna sit here and lie and be like, it was weird because I'm like, this is somebody I was communicating with frequently and things like that, and then all of a sudden they're like gone out of your life, and you're like, what happened? You're like, honestly, I wouldn't have even known if I didn't care about the person, because I was looking to reach out to the person, and then next thing I know, I wasn't able to see the person on social media anymore, and I was like, I wonder if they just taking a sabbatical. People do that, things like that, and then, but lo and behold, come to find out, the person can still be seen by friends of mine, but just not me, apparently. And so it seems to be that the person has blocked me. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. It's been years now. So at the end of the day, again, when I just think about the person, I just pray for the person. I hope the person is thriving. I hope the person is blessed. I hope the person is, getting everything they desire to have, with the exception of me in their life. That if that's what it took for them to get to their next level, by all means, I'm okay with that, right? But the thing is, just saying it sometimes, right, it's best if you are able to have a conversation and communicate and things like that, then it's great to do so. And I think, again, those 5 steps will address different ways to do that. But if you are in a situation where somebody makes the decision for themselves that's best for them, which might be to ghost or to remove themselves out of their life, or whatever, or out of your life, things like that, let that be too. Look, judge it with right judgment at the end of the day, righteous judgment, and things like that. So hopefully that encourages you and inspires you guys. Let me give you guys another verse that was standing out to me. It's 1 John 4:6. It says, "We are from God. Whoever knows God listens to us. Whoever is not from God does not listen to us. By this we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of error." So, that might be touchy and stuff, but here's the thing, like I was saying earlier, like sometimes, again, the God in you may be irritating maybe not so godly attributes in someone else. Sometimes you may be dealing with somebody that isn't a Christian, for example. So they may not be willing to, do things in a biblical way, right? It does tell us to, pretty much address situations head on. If you have a fault between your brother, X, Y, and Z, you should be able to talk to that person, things of that nature. And, hey, don't get me wrong now. I'm not necessarily a confrontational person either, So, I've definitely had to find ways to figure that part out of my life as well. But I guess with that being said, we need to understand that, again, some of the situations happen, or some of the misunderstandings happen, because of things like this. The verse is saying that, just because, you are of God, right, and you're moving according to God and things like that, it says, those type of people will listen, right? Those type of people that you can communicate with, those type of people that you should be able to. I put it like that. You should be able to communicate with them. You should be able to talk to them about whatever the issues are. You should be able to come to an understanding, maybe even test out those 5 steps and things like that. So, but some you might not be able to do that with and stuff like that too. And again, the Bible does address how you should handle those situations. If after, I think it's like 3 or 4 times of trying to attempt to talk to somebody about whatever the situation is, if they refuse, right, to I guess acknowledge it and things of that nature, at some point it says like treat them as a tax collector, right? Treat them as someone outside I guess of the kingdom. Like, I mean, I guess you can wash your hands of the situation at that point. So just something to think about. I mean, speaking of that, there's an article at gotquestions.org that you guys can check out that really resonated with me when I was reading it this morning. And it is called, I just want to show y'all where it's at. Again, gotquestions.org. And it's called, How Should a Christian Relate to Non-Christian Friends? Like I said, there was several things that resonated. It's not just about non-Christian friends, I would say. But it could pretty much address any relationship, or even if they are Christian friends and stuff like that. So again, something to think about, just something to go look at if you feel led to do so. Do I have another verse? Yep, I think I got. Wait, no. That's it in regards to the verses, y'all. I mean, the other verses are in the Go Deeper section, so you guys can peruse those and let them marinate on your heart, souls, and minds at your leisure. But, I mean, I guess ultimately the juice is that perhaps every now and then we got to learn to be okay with being misunderstood. If you can communicate with someone and rectify the misunderstanding, great, right? If you can't, right, then that's okay too. Again, what I've been doing in situations is learning to pray for people, let people live their life the way they want to live it. You know what I mean? And if they want to live it without me, that's their choice, right? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to sit here and pressure somebody to work with me, be with me, live with me. None of that. Like, whatever the case may be, like, So people have to make their own decisions at the end of the day. And so I hope you're encouraged and inspired by this conversation about misunderstood. And I hope, again, that this has brought you some clarity, at least to your situations, and that there's something that you all can use to, I guess, grow in this area of understanding. And I guess, like I said, that's the juice. Now, the Bible verse of today is 1 John 4:15. It says, whosoever shall confess that Jesus is the Son of God, God dwelleth in him, and he in God, friends. I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Everyone is stuck at home, but life is still happening around us every day. Birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and celebrations. Send your friends and family the gift of wine from the comforts of home. Wine shop at home with Miracle of Wine. Wine, gift baskets, wine accessories, and more at miracleofwine.com.